everybody. Welcome to Delta Lodge Outdoors. Today's episode, I'm just going over a recap of our first week hunting. We went down in North Louisiana, met with a couple of Moji guys. Brant and Ty, they're not on with me today, but it was a test run because they've never been off camping on public land. They've never hunted public land. I've hunted it a good bit. I've camped. I grew up doing it. So it was see how they're gonna get their feet wet in it, see what they do with it, and working on a few things so we can plan some more trips. But this was just kind of a test run, make sure everybody jived together because we cut up and talk every day and everything. But you spend a week with somebody in a tent, in 90-degree weather. So, all right, we're diving into it. First day we got there was Sunday. Myself and Brant rolled in Sunday about 2:30. Set camp up, was in the woods scouting by like 3:30, boots on the ground, and found some good sign, historical sign. Went and moved a stand that I have in the woods there that's been there for like 7 years. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's either, you're not supposed to have that. A lot of people have them. If the game, it is one of those things. If the game warden finds, they will take it. If he goes in there and finds mine and takes it, good on him. It's a couple mile hike, so even if your eyes is full, they're back there to an extent. He's still got half a mile walk, then climb up the tree and get it. So good luck. First day was, we moved that one, scouted. We saw 5 does and a pretty good buck, all in the general area that was going to be where I was going to put Brant. Sorry, my sinuses are draining a little bit. We got back to camp, cooked like steak and potatoes on the Blackstone, just chilled out, got an early night, kind of in, and but that first day we probably walked 4.5 to 5.5 miles. We get up Monday morning, boots on the ground. We're going to hit a couple more areas that I have, high belief in. Like, what am I looking for here? The word will come to me later. So we get into those. It's really dry. So the hogs have moved into those areas because it's by creeks and has a little bit of water. And almost every oak tree was dropping acorns. So the hogs were killing the acorns. The deer were on them a little bit. They were on another feed and pattern. So had that figured out real quick and in the game. But we make our loop. We get back there. We're 2 miles deep, and I look at Brant and I'm like, dude, I smell hogs. And he's like, is that what the smell is? I'm like, yeah. I was like, we're on top of them. Like, it's, and as I finished telling him that, I hear what I think's a deer go to blowing, like how a doe will blow at you. And I turn and look to where it's coming from. It's literally like 6 pigs over there, 20, 30 yards from us, and one's blowing at us like a damn deer. First time I've ever had that happen. I've heard them snap, I've heard them snort, like I've heard the normals. But to blow at you, that was different. So pretty cool to see they do that. Sorry, getting a sip of water. So we made our loop, got out of there, really didn't see a deer sign. Walked some more, checked some areas. That day, didn't see a deer. Didn't really get on any good ooh-ah. And Ty got there about 3 o'clock, and we'd been scouting since daylight other than stopping for lunch. So he's like, Ty wants to scout that point. So boots back on the ground, we're going and everything. By the end of Monday, Brant and I had been like 11, 12 miles. So we're 15, 16 miles in a day and a half. We put some boots on the ground. Not a real heavy sign, but the historical sign was there. So opening morning, I send Brant Tuesday opening morning to the lock on that I've had in the woods where we made some adjustments. And he semi got busted. Nature called. He hopped down to take care of that because he couldn't make it out of the woods, and apparently, it was like a rabbit, left his pile in the deer trail. So he literally shit on that stand for a while. But he had 4 does given that morning. He was the only one out of our group that saw deer that morning. That evening, some other guys from South Louisiana came in and camped actually right beside us, and we got talking to those guys, really cool guys. They have some honey holes that they go. I knew the guys. I know the general areas they hunt up there, and they usually shoot some does. So I was like, okay, cool. Ty didn't see anything that day. And that that opening morning, if y'all saw my YouTube short, I literally got halfway back to where I wanted to hunt at and was like, man, my gear's awful light. And realized that I didn't have my saddle or my bow. All I had was my backpack with my platform on it and my few things for it. So I had to turn around and come back. So I ended up swapping areas because that area it was too late to go in there at that point and waste a good area. So I went and hit this other area that's I've got a lot of sign with in like late January. But got in there, and on the way out I found a shed from one side of a 8-point. So it's a nice little 4-point shed. So it tells you, and it was literally on the deer trail that I used to walk out on, 15 feet off the road, if that. So I'd already made it back almost out, so that tells you nobody had been in that area because that shed was just laying there in the open. So that was Tuesday morning, and like I said, Tuesday evening, nobody really saw anything. The guys that came in camp by us, they got there in time for an evening hunt. They come back saying they didn't see anything. Brant and Ty, and I think the other guy's name was like Joel and another one started with J. They got to drinking that night, and I think about 2 o'clock I finally was like, hey man, y'all gotta go to fucking bed. And so I got up the next morning, got some coffee, didn't make a morning hunt, and just wasn't real excited about what I was seeing. So I got on a stand about 9:30, and I saw a deer going into this area. I had never hunted it, but from e-scouting, I was like, okay, cool, I'll throw something at it. And I went in there, I found some fingers that go down a ridge and everything that come to a choke point, basically a funnel. So I set up on that, and on the way in I saw a doe. While I was sitting, I had a doe go through, just not in bow range. And it was two ridges that went to this funnel. I set up on one, she went down the other. So that's the only 2 deer I saw Wednesday. Ty saw a decent buck about 300 yards down crossing. There was like 3 crossing points. He was on one, he was in the one in the middle, Brant was on the first one, Ty in the middle, and the deer crossed on the third one. Like I said, I was hunting another area. So that was Wednesday's hunt. Thursday, and then the guys beside us hadn't saw anything. Thursday, we saw, I don't know, I got it documented, but I have to go back and look. I don't think anybody saw anything Thursday at all. It was just nothing. And those guys were talking about that was next to us. It was 4 in that group total, plus our 3. So there was 7 of us hunting together, scattered out over this place, and none of us were seeing deer. Few locals we talked to and everything, nobody seeing deer. The local guys hunting it. They just kind of shut down. Don't really know what happened. I know historical data. I've always had good, movement. But I know part of it was really dry and the hogs had moved around, and there was so much feed for them to get to. Because some, like I said, were still eating acorns. Some were eating the other mass crop of forage that it was coming down. So it was just pinpointing it. Bran had the best opportunity and just kind of blew it. So that was that. Enjoyed it. Had fun, cooking and just cutting up the guys a little bit. Crossing styles on how we hunt. Um, so, but it's enjoyable. Looking forward to probably doing another one next year. I know I'm umming a lot because I'm thinking as I'm doing this because I didn't take notes beforehand. So I apologize for that. This is just freestyling over here. So next year we're debating third week of October at the same place or the last week of October, gun season somewhere else. Some of the early gun seasons. I have good historical data at that one third week also, because that's when your scrapes start picking up. So possibly go hunt it. Just got to see what they want to do. I told them the only week that was out for me would be basically the 7th through about the 16th of November, because I was not going to throw my rut at Louisiana. I'd rather hunt rut in Oklahoma on my place or some other places I can go to. And that brings us to that was our discussion Friday. We picked up camp and everything, rolled out. We've all been talking since. Brand has learned that he needs to definitely switch to more mobile style of hunting, because the lock on was okay for him, but climbing sand everywhere kicked his ass. So we ended up with probably, I don't know, over that 4.5 day period, 5 days, whatever we were gone, Sunday evening, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then Friday back, like 5.5, 6 days, whatever. 4 whole days, 2 halves, however you look at it. 35 miles on the ground on our boots. So it was a lot. They both realized a lot on stuff down there. So I look forward to making another trip with the guys and implementing what they've picked up and moving from there. Like I said, I got back Friday, so 2 days ago. So because I'm recording this one on Sunday, I got back Friday and I don't know, 2 o'clock. Went in, took a good hot shower because it'd been like 4 days since a good hot shower, 5, something like that. So took a shower, hung out with the wife and kids for a minute. I ran to the back to make a deer hunt from my place. Excuse me. Ran to the back to make a hunt on my place. I saw a doe and got her on film. She was just a little one. I kind of figured she'd had something else with her because she barely lost her spots, and nothing else happened from there. The feed that I keep out at my place, it's not my normal Cajun blend or one of my other blends. It's something else I've put together that I'm seeing a lot that I like. They're hitting it hard and heavy. I think since it's something I developed here in Oklahoma, I think right now its nickname's the Sooner Blend, and we'll go from there. I'm thinking that's what we're going to call it when we start mass producing it. I've got to ship some to a buddy of mine this week, so I need to reach out to him and tell him I'm going to send him some because I want him to try it. Because if it does where he in South Louisiana, what it does up here, it's pretty impressive. Like I said, they're killing it. I came in late. Sorry, I have no clue why I keep yawning. I'm out here in my man cave and it's midday. I don't understand why I'm yawning. Sorry about that. I've got confidence in the feed that we're testing, so I believe that's where it doesn't for area. I sent them to some high confidence areas and they just didn't pan out. But yeah, I could have shot that doe Sunday evening on my place, but Friday evening, she was just too little. I'll probably go hunt this evening and pull my stuff because my saddle's even still hanging in my tree out at my place. Like my saddle, my platform, my bow's on the tree, my camera's on the tree. Right now on my place, I've got everything I own for bow hunting hanging in that tree. So I definitely gotta go back there and pull that. So, and it's my private property here at my house. So that's where we're on that. We next week obviously I'll go back to work next week. I've got some areas I want to hunt over near where I work at. I'm gonna we've got some does located. if they didn't get jacked up with the first week of pressure of hunting, especially being today and yesterday. So if they didn't get them jacked up, I've got some good ones there. I've got a camera I've got to check that if nobody messed with it and nobody hunted that area, I should have the bucks traveling through there because that's a pretty good buck corridor. Because I have data from the last 2 years on it. So I'll go Monday to work. When I get done with work, I'll try to make a hunt and film that. If I'm going to check the camera first. If it's what I'm wanting it to be, then I'll hunt there. If it's not, I'll run over to the next area I've got that I know that does are going through every evening and try to shoot a doe. And just go from there. I want to try to get a couple bow kills on camera this year. And I really want to do something. My main goal is the earliest I've killed a deer in a deer season is November the 4th. So I'm shooting for an October deer for my personal thing. So to best myself. So that's where we're at. It's kind of a little rundown of boots on the ground the first week. And we got our asses kicked, but we weren't the only ones. I feel like there was a couple tweaks that could have been made. I feel like if Brant had to not use the restroom, he would have got a doe opening morning, which I told him when I sent him that stand. I was like, I'm like 90% confident you'll see a deer. I can't make sure you kill the deer, but I can put you in the chance to see one. He did that, just didn't line up. Where Ty and I both, we put ourselves in positions to shoot deer. When we got to where we needed to be, we made the wrong choice mine was by 50 yards and his was by like 300 yards. You live and you learn. Like I said, I had good deer trails coming on both those ridges I was using that come down to that funnel. I didn't set up at the very point of the funnel because it was so close to the opening that I would have been out you could have saw me from the trail, like a main trail walking in. I would have been 50 yards off of private property, and I didn't want to do that, so I went in the woods and so I could get like 200 to 300 off. Hindsight's 20/20. I should have probably just went and set up where I was damn near the open within 50 to 25 yards of the private and did my thing, but I was trying to be respectful of other people going through there if they did, or the private landowner. So that's what in the long run messed me up. Ty's was just what he thought about was he got to where he was at. He started to go to the back. He's like, well, if I go to the back and I don't like the back, I've done trashed up, with my scent, the middle. Then I got to backtrack and everything. So he just stopped and sat down there. Found a tree to climb and locked down, and that's what happened. Like I said, Ty and I both saddle hunt. Brant realized this week that it's a lot easier for us to move around and pick trees and do than we've told him this over and over, but until you physically are around it and see it, you don't realize how much difference it makes. And he learned it the hard way this week. So that's where we're at. I think I'm going to start winding this one down. Hopefully this week I'm able to get things lined out with a couple other guys that are guests that we've been talking back and forth, trying to get some stuff lined out because we started talking right before deer season started for everybody, and you know how that goes. As deer hunters, we're bouncing and doing that. So y'all stay tuned for the things to come. Where y'all reach out to us if you got questions, anything to say, add. We also look out at our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Delta Lodge Outdoors is what they're both at. We appreciate the listeners on every platform we have. Thank y'all. And Julius Craig, Delta Lodge Outdoors. Thanks for your time.